When regular everyday Gotham citizens begin committing horrifying crimes, it will be up to the Dark Knight to try and unravel this mystery. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Detective Comics number 1059 and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up from where Shadows of the Bat left off, we had heard a brand new pirate radio signal courtesy of the Riddler, Edward Nygma. Yes, that's right, everyone. The Riddler's big new villainous plan this time is to start a podcast. His show airs every day in the morning, where he asks regular citizens if they're getting the answers to the hard questions out there, while also posing questions of his own. You may also notice that the Riddler has decided to update his look again for the 4th time in about 5 years. He now has a total D-bag mustache. Whether or not that's better or worse than the mutton chops from the King run, or being all twisted into an actual question mark shape like in the Tynan run, that's for you all to decide. It's in this issue too, we're also introduced to a brand new character, Caroline Donovan. If that name sounds familiar, it should, because she's the daughter of crusading journalist Deb Donovan. Caroline is actually a judge, and after she ends up sentencing a man to jail time, she ends up finding a bomb in her office. Again, tying into Riddler's Not Quite Riddle from his show, When is a Criminal Not a Criminal When They're Found Innocent. Luckily, Batman is on the scene and manages to make it in just enough time to disarm the bomb. This whole situation is super fishy though. Caroline manages to survive the attempt on her life, but several mysterious individuals are seen outside the crime scene. We also learn that mother and daughter aren't exactly as close as you might think. In fact, some people theorize that Deb only made the scene as quickly as she did to try and write a story about what happened. Luckily though, Caroline seems to actually open up quite a bit to Bruce, who stops by to give her flowers, saying that he was in the area at the time the bomb went off and felt bad about what happened. Turns out Caroline might even be a little sweet on Bruce Wayne too. She had attended one of his old rich guy parties and had thought about introducing herself but never did, thinking that he was probably just another stuck-up jerk. It's also here too, the book takes a minute to remind us that Batman is without his amazing fortune, and honestly I'm glad they did, because this part of Batman's current storyline has come up so little I totally forgot it happened. Bruce goes into full detective mode and looks over the bomb pieces. Apparently it was pure amateur hour. The parts were all bought at the local hardware store and are a far cry from the professional bombs that Batman usually sees all the time. This also means finding the person who planted it is very easy. The culprit, it would seem, is a woman by the name of Sarah Pett. She's actually an online influencer, and when Batman comes to arrest her, she admits what she did right away and doesn't even attempt to put up a fight. Obviously, this is all incredibly suspicious, and it doesn't take Batman long to figure that these regular civilians committing crimes must be connected to the Riddler and his brand new pirate radio podcast. This situation only grows more dire though the following night, when Batman responds to a murder at an opera house. The Riddler having previously phrased a question about curtain calls and fat ladies singing. It seems these crimes are also growing in sophistication though. This wasn't just a simple murder, as following it was also a massive gas attack. Batman tries to save the lives of as many civilians as he can, but in the end he can't actually save the life of the perpetrator, who ends up taking his own life instead of being captured. With no other leads and no idea where Riddler is broadcasting from, Batman returns to Caroline's hospital room in just enough time to overhear her talking on the phone to some mysterious individual, implying that maybe she knew more about her own bomb attack than she's letting on. And it's on that note right there the comic comes to a close, everyone. So that was Detective Comics number 1059, and overall I thought this issue was fine. Obviously I left it a couple weeks, mainly because after the disappointing finale of Shadows of the Bat and the realization that this will actually be Tamaki's final run and a Ram V run on Detective Comics will be starting soon, I wasn't really motivated to pick this one up right away. The idea of rebranding the Riddler as some sort of sinister podcaster personality is certainly interesting, but I can't help but shake the feeling that you could probably do this with any other Batman villain and it would feel exactly the same. Also, the timing on this one sure is interesting, especially considering what was going on with Riddler in the new The Batman movie. I'm left wondering if this story came from a real place of real inspiration for Tamaki the writer, or was this more of an editorial mandate, hey, give us a Riddler that's maybe a little closer to movie Riddler. There's certainly some fun to be had with Batman buckling down to try and solve a mystery. This is Detective Comics after all, and this is when the series is at its strongest. I just hope they can actually stick the landing this time, something that has been a problem basically all run long. Overall though, I'd feel comfortable giving this one a 7 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quests. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.